Have you ever found yourself giving more, loving harder, showing up fully, only to feel like he's pulling away with every kind gesture? It's confusing, right? Almost cruel. You open your heart, you offer your loyalty, your emotional presence, your truth, and instead of appreciation, you get distance. You get coldness, silence, disinterest. It makes you question yourself. Am I too much? Did I say something wrong? Should I just try harder? But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's not your love that pushed him away, but how that love was perceived? Let's take a breath together. Because this isn't about blame. This is about reclaiming your power and understanding a very real, very overlooked psychological dynamic. Carl Jung, a pioneer in analytical psychology, once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That quote explains so much about relationships, especially why men sometimes disconnect the moment a woman becomes emotionally available. Because the issue isn't always compatibility, it's ego. You see, many men, especially those still operating from an immature emotional space, build their ego around dominance, validation, and a sense of being desired. In the beginning, when you're slightly mysterious, when you're not fully his, he feels the thrill. But when you become emotionally transparent, when you're all in, the ego feels it has conquered something, and ironically, it gets bored. That's the first paradox. The more you give to someone who isn't emotionally ready, the less they appreciate it. Why? Because their attachment isn't to your heart. It's to the feeling of winning you. And once the chase ends, so does their engagement. But don't let this disillusion you. Let it empower you. Because understanding this pattern helps you stop blaming yourself for someone else's inability to receive love in a mature way. Now here's where it gets deeper. Jung taught that humans project their unconscious onto others, especially in relationships. A man may not fall for you, at least not initially. He falls for the version of you that reflects his anima, the ideal feminine image he carries deep inside. When you remain slightly elusive, that projection feels powerful, sacred. But when you're always there, texting first, explaining, over-nurturing, the projection collapses. You become real. And for someone unprepared to meet real love, that reality becomes overwhelming. So here's the second paradox. The more emotionally available you are, the less emotionally magnetic you seem to the wrong man. Let that land. Not because you're too much, not because your love isn't beautiful, but because the immature ego only values what it fears losing. Now let me be clear, this isn't about playing games. This is about self-respect. When you stop chasing, when you stop responding out of fear of loss, you shift the emotional power. You stop dancing to the rhythm of someone else's ego. You create silence. And in that silence, he feels your absence. Not as punishment, but as a mirror. Most women are taught that love is about fixing, doing, holding space, proving worth. But that energy is reactive. It centers someone else's emotions, not your own, and it sends a dangerous subconscious message. My value depends on your approval. That's not love, that's survival. Now let's shift the frame. Imagine this. He pulls away, but instead of texting again or asking what's wrong, you wait, not from anger, but from awareness. He sends a vague message. You don't respond right away. Maybe you don't respond at all. He tests your emotions. You stay calm, unmoved, not cold, just clear. This shift breaks the pattern. You're no longer trying to be chosen. You're choosing yourself. And in doing so, you become emotionally untouchable. Not because you don't feel, but because you honor your energy. Now let's take it one step further. This isn't just about him. This is about you, your growth, your inner world. Carl Jung called this individuation the journey of becoming whole. Instead of obsessing over why he's distant, you ask, what am I creating? Who am I becoming? What version of me am I evolving into? That shift in focus is the real power move, because when your energy turns inward, when you invest in your growth, your radiance, your peace, everything changes. He might feel the shift, he might chase, but whether he does or not is irrelevant, because you're no longer operating from a place of lack. You're no longer giving to be seen. You're growing to be you. And here's the turning point. The man who once took you for granted suddenly notices your absence. He starts wondering, why isn't she reacting? Has she moved on? Is she gone? And that void becomes unbearable because it confronts his ego with the one thing it can't control, your peace. Remember, a man doesn't obsess over the woman who chases him. He obsesses over the woman who knows her value and doesn't place it in his hands. That's not manipulation. That's sovereignty. It's the art of choosing yourself, fully, fearlessly, unapologetically. Let me end with this. The goal isn't to win him back. The goal is to never lose yourself again in the process of trying to be loved. So the next time he pulls away, don't panic. Don't overextend. Don't beg for closeness. Breathe. And remember who you are. The most magnetic energy in the world is a woman who has nothing to prove and everything to embody. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to remember it and to live from that truth every day.